Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Today is October 15th, 2015. Town clock says 7:34 for the Environmental Conservation Board meeting. We'll go through the agenda.
Present, please.
Vince, Ed, Nick, and Bob Lager are present. We'll start on the agenda. Let's go item 1, Random Ridge subdivision, Kennecott Hill Road.
They're not here.
No,
Once-
this was taken off the agenda.
Yeah, Rose had mentioned that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's,
They're waiting for information. from
okay,
the,
from the,
DEP, DEC, whatever.
Outside
oh,
agency.
that's, I got that email. Okay, next item is Alex Tepper, 36 Kirk Lake Drive.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Please state your name and why are you here?
Bob Strom, representing Alex Tepper, application for ECB permit for a dock bulkhead.
Okay, so you have no questions or comments from the public. You're gonna have to leave an escrow of $500 through the EAF, and then I'll sign the permit. So, there has been no changes in the plans since since we approved the concept.
No.
I have a memo here from David Klotzel for an escrow for $500. I'll leave that in the file. So then with this, I have a motion to approve the application and grant the permit.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so you'll get a permit. Let me go through the ECB, the environmental assessment form. I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
Yeah, I hear you there.
So what I'll do is, you can pick this up from the office either, I don't know if she has something in tomorrow, but definitely Monday.
Yeah.
Monday. All right, so bring a check in for $500 on Monday and you're good to go.
Does he need to have a meeting?
Before you start work, you have to call Dave Klotzel.
Okay.
To have,
Yeah,
after you
I've got
set up,
full New York State
after you
too,
set up all your,
everything in place and all. But we're not going anywhere fast. The lake's not down yet. Yeah,
so just make sure you, let him know.
I can get Dave's number from Rose, right?
Yes, so call Rose.
You know when they're opening the lake?
You know, it's
Close?
usually right around now, but
Yeah.
I don't think the gate's open yet. Yeah. I was by there today and it's still pretty high, so.
Okay, you're good to go.
Good to
All
go.
right. Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Yeah, good
Good
luck
night.
on
We
that.
just have to go through the assessment. Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use planning and zoning regulations?
No.
Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of land use?
No.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of existing community?
No.
Will the proposed action have an impact on environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area?
No.
Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action impact existing public/private water supplies and public-private wastewater treatment facilities?
No.
Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources?
No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in the adverse change to natural resources? Example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, or fauna? No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No.
No.
Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resource or human health?
No.
Okay, so this is good to go. this. This goes in here. Okay, next item is Richard Dudshire Construction. Please state your name and why you're here, please.
My name is Rich Dudashine. I'm here to a wetland permit.
Okay,
It's not in there, is it in there?
here it is. Okay, last time you were here, you were given a list of items
Yes.
that needed to be addressed.
Yes.
And let's see if that's done. Okay, I happen to have the list here, guys, so I'll read it out.
Excellent.
Show silt fence. He shows a silt fence detail. Does he show the silt fence on the plans?
Yes.
Yes, there's one, there's two, there's three,
There's three.
there's three.
Just to go over from the last time we were talking about doing infiltrators. There's a huge patio right over here that's in very
Right.
much despair. So instead of putting the infiltrators in, it was suggested I just take the patio out and put grass in. I thought that was even a better idea. But it's a broken up slate patio.
Okay.
I don't remember the part, I remember the,
I remember
The
he was gonna
what-
put infiltrators in.
right, yeah, I remember that too, but I don't remember the part about just putting grass in, maybe a rain garden.
This is what he's showing over here.
This is a new, this is
It's a new application, new drawing.
I know,
It's a new drawing with a different idea.
It's saying to remove the impervious surface
Right.
of that existing one as a
If you don't like,
balance.
if you don't like grass, I could do wildflower or something. It doesn't
Rain
matter.
garden, but then you gotta give us a rain garden.
let's take a look at the whole thing
Let's go
first.
through the whole
Let's go
thing.
the whole, through it.
Show the 100-foot buffer.
Yes.
It's shown.
That's shown.
Awesome.
Provide a spill kit. Spill kit location.
He doesn't have to, he's not gonna use any equipment, right, down in, or are you?
Originally, he was going to put the
Infiltrators,
infiltrators
and
in.
it was questionable where that buffer, but it was still in front of the house over here. But I'll put the spill kit there for any reason I have to bring a piece of equipment in. I don't see where I could jackhammer this up and take it out. But whatever's more convenient for the board.
Provide sequence of construction. You just give us erosion sediment controls. You don't give me what the sequence of construction is gonna be. That's not a sequence of construction.
I think,
No, the sequence of construction was the work that he was planning to do on the site.
you're right.
Construct the deck, build the patio, rip up the slate,
You know what? All right.
provide areas of work.
See, the way you have this written here, and let me follow along with what Bob was saying. You have install erosion control measures, okay? And then once all erosion control sediment measures are in place, construction of the house. We're more interested in the construction outside of the house, because the inside of the house,
Right.
specifically. We're more interested in what happens with the new deck when you remove this here. So erosion control, this.
Yeah,
It's missing.
It's missing. The other thing too is, you should mention specifically, we're gonna put in, when you're gonna put in the silt fencing, okay?
so
Some idea.
fences are already in.
Okay,
yeah.
well, that's good. And also, what about the boom? What, the
The
boom?
boom I could do right away too, obviously, all the erosion matters gotta be in place first
Okay,
with the spill kit. And then, obviously, before I start the deck, I would have to take out the impervious area,
okay,
and then I would do the deck.
okay.
And then the last thing I would do would be the boathouse. I don't know if I could write this out on
Okay.
the sheets
Yeah,
tonight.
You're gonna have to
You
work
have
to
to
see how
give
it
us
is.
a little bit better here. I understand what you're saying. I didn't even, I remember now you saying
Now
something
you're
about the
putting,
silt fencing.
see, before you didn't have a stockade fence in.
No, I didn't, but I also applied that in the application. There is
Yeah.
a stockade fence there now in despair. It's half fallen, half up.
That's fine, and we had suggested you put everything on the plan, you did that, that's good. But we need a little more detail on.
On the sequence of events.
Sequence
Yeah.
of events.
Is there any way we could do that tonight and write it
Show,
down?
let's go through the list.
Yeah,
It's
Show septic tank,
right there.
the septic tank is here, what about the septic
Size.
field?
It wasn't asked on the list. It's forward of the septic tank, though.
Okay. And is this a well that's used by the homeowners?
Yes.
where's that?
The well is right here, and he's saying forward is areas in here?
It goes up further, actually.
Okay. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, I'm
and
surprised that the well
well-
is so close to the
Well,
septic.
it's, you know why? Because it's an older house.
Yeah, yeah, and that, I understand that, yeah.
They also have, it's not a conventional septic tank where it's pumped out, the water comes out 90% clean. It's got a filtration system in it.
Okay.
It was done by,
It's an approval, we don't,
right,
we just make sure the public health
but it's not
department
like a
has
traditional septic system where gray water comes out.
it. Right.
What is there an inspection port on it?
What?
Tank? The septic tank?
Is there, yeah,
A port where it could be pumped?
yes.
What kind of a tank is this that
Um,
does, what does it do?
It's got a filter on it, so I'd have to,
Keep it, I don't know, from going out into the fields.
yes.
You say it's not a usual one, how many gallons, do you have any idea?
I believe it's a 1250. It's a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah,
It's a new
okay.
tank that's been installed in
Concrete?
concrete, yes,
Is it a concrete tank?
yes. And it's got a clean out on top. It's got a separate thing that you have to clean this filter every 6 months.
Okay.
And it's got a pump station where it pumps the septic up higher.
We could assume it was
So it's
approved by the county.
above the
It was
tank.
approved by Putnam County Board of Health. Putnam County Board of Health came out, looked at the site.
Okay.
The head of the county came out, had no
When,
problems.
when was that done?
Within the last week.
Oh, okay, then I think we want to see.
No. The system was approved years ago.
Oh, okay. I was
Years
gonna say,
ago. The
if
system
it was a
was-
recent approval, we
No.
we need the
I
county health department.
did not have nothing to do with the septic system.
Okay,
No, I did put a parking area here in the front.
yeah, okay.
At one point, some people felt that it was in the, I can't even see where are we? Okay, up in here. So they came out and inspected that, so
Okay.
some town officials did too. And there was nothing wrong with that.
Show piping size and materials for drainage pipe. You have
There's
it,
no drainage pipe anymore. It's existing.
that was part of the Coltech system, right?
Yes.
So not applicable. That comes off the list. Show location of well, you got it. Show total disturbance.
It's a brick up
New
there.
deck and stairs, new porch roof. Place existing front porch. And this is new too. You added the new porch in the front, which is in the 100-foot buffer.
There's an existing patio there.
Listen, here's my problem,
Okay.
okay? I have to hunt and peck here for all of the areas of work that we're doing, and it shouldn't be that way. This should be a plan that you can read and understand. And it's really not. Remove existing walk under deck. So there's existing walks under here?
Say that again?
Remove existing walks on the deck. Which existing walks? Number 3.
Well, we're gonna redo the wall.
That's not,
All right,
I'm reading your note.
all right. There's, going into this here and going into this area here, there's more patio underneath this deck.
Okay, now how, looking at this, because this gets advertised to the public,
Okay.
looking at this, how do I know that's gonna be ripped up?
We can mark it and show it, I guess.
Is that a slate patio under there or what?
It's a combination of, it's a mess. There's concrete, there's
Remove-
slate.
And they
there's
built a
stuff-
deck over that?
Well, no, I'm looking to, here's the existing deck here right now.
Yeah,
So what we did was, we're showing the new deck coming out now.
I see.
This is all stone. This is like a 2-foot wall right there over it. It's a retaining wall there. There's stairs going down there. This whole area in here is a combination of concrete, stone, blacktop. It's a mess. All I really wanted to do was put a 3x2 boosted walkway all the way down. I don't even need all that area.
Okay, here's another thing that would, okay. What I'm gonna suggest to the board is as follows. I'm gonna suggest that these plans be taken back, properly demarked for the areas of work that he's working in, not that now we're looking, I'm changing this, I'm doing this. We have to have a complete set of plans that show the areas of work properly identified. Because the way this looks to me, I mean, you're doing replace wood planking with cedar plank, fine, great, but you know what, you're putting a turbidity curtain here, here's the dock, I guess this is the bulkhead? I mean, this is
Yes.
the bulkhead right here?
Yes.
So, I mean, we need a sequence of construction,
That's obvious.
and we need the map clearly
Let
demarked with
me-
the areas
let
he's
me-
working.
Let me mention one other thing about the map. What's the scale on the map?
1 inch equals 10 feet.
Okay, well, you say 1 inch equals 10 feet. That's about 1 inch. That's 10 feet. Here it's labeled 23 and a half feet, and that's a little bit more than an inch.
Yeah, this is nothing here. Oh, no, that's one of,
It's over here. It's over here. 1 inch equals 10 feet is over here.
Okay.
And if you look at this 35 over here, okay, it's nowhere, it's not equal to that. If you look at the 100, it isn't. So,
I scaled the 100 from, I checked the scaling, I measured it myself, I know that means nothing. But if you scale it from here to here, it's 100 feet.
this isn't 10 inches from here to here.
Can we get a ruler?
You don't have to, I measured it.
No, you had a different drawing.
I measured this one
No, you didn't.
today.
It's a different drawing.
he just
You
gave
should-
it
you-
to me now.
I
These
guess-
are new today?
Yes.
Okay, fine, measure it then, because it looks like this is the same, I don't know.
No, it's not, because to be honest with you, I'm telling you where it was right here.
Oh, then you did change it, because I was in the office today
apologize.
at 11:30, and I measured the drawing at that time.
I tried to take care of this at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so now this, now that,
Now it went back to where we thought it was 100 feet.
okay, well, this is still a little bit more than an inch, and it's 23 feet. It should be maybe 12 feet according to the scale.
Okay, no argument there.
Okay, and this here is not 3 inches, 3.5 inches from here to here either.
The scale's off, because 1 inch is 23 and a half feet. What's your scale?
1 inch equals 10.
Scale's off. Let's check it again. So that's 3, so that's 30. This is a 60. Yep, scale's off. Scale's off. So you gotta redo the drawing. You also gotta, you have a north arrow on here?
I don't, who prepared this drawing?
Remember this,
in?
remember,
I know it's been here, and I was looking at it today when I was in the office, and I'm saying, wait a second, there's something wrong with this, okay? And I was looking at it.
Gore was the surveyor who was, I don't think he's no
I
longer.
think I know what happened. I think you took the survey, you blew it up
Something.
to get onto this drawing. And you put a scale on, you didn't bother to change the scale on the survey, the existing survey. And you marked this up and you hand wrote in your dimensions. It's, that's fine, we're not trying to kill you on it, but I think that's what happened.
Well, Roy Frederickson did it, I didn't.
I'm just,
With Ray X, but the next time I come here, they'll be here.
all right, so if anybody else has any other comments, I have no other comments except the scale is off. You have to give me a drawing with the proper scale, proper drawing demarcations, detailing areas of work.
Clearly differentiate between existing and proposed work.
I think it's clearly
No,
marked.
it isn't.
Well,
No, because 3 minutes ago, you said, oh, yeah, I'm gonna do the walkway that goes down here, but it's clear, it's not marked on the drawing that you're gonna do it.
It's mentioned on the, it's mentioned on the description that I'm doing it.
Listen, Richard, if I can call you Richard,
Sure.
these have to be,
All right, then I'll mark it on.
these have to be right,
Okay,
because if they're not right, they're wrong. Okay? The 100-foot buffer is, if you look at the numbers here, from here to, maybe I took it from this one, let's just see.
Take it
Let me
from
see.
here.
No, it's probably measured right now, because it is,
Was wrong
it is
before.
moved. It was, the one I saw, it was, the line was over here.
30?
Right.
Yeah, I'm off by a few, I think I'm off by a few. 30, 60,
On the chart.
60,
Richard, what does the D indicate?
it's close.
It's
That's-
close.
The 100-foot buffer
It's
is
close now. That line is close, but this line says 23 and a half.
that's
And
wrong.
it can't, and this is wrong
All the
also.
way around. Is it a D?
Indicate,
I don't, it was on the survey map, nothing from me.
okay.
It's the existing walkway that's there right now.
Yeah,
You know, going back from, you've been here a couple of times already, okay?
Right.
We don't want you to come back, okay?
Believe me.
But from,
But listen, you know what?
we want you to come back, I don't want you to come back.
Come back here the next time. I never dealt with so many things in my life. The last time I was in front of environmental board was maybe when Mr. Freeze was around, to be honest with you. And I probably built-
really? Wow.
I probably built 300 homes between Westchester, Hamptons, Montauk, Florida, but,
But
and
it's
I know
always,
you have your own rules. I'm willing to go through it.
Oh, it's the
I'm
code,
not-
that's town code.
It's
It's
not,
It's-
I'm
but-
not making rules up.
but what I was starting to say was that your problem has been the plan from day
I
one.
I never really had a good survey, to be honest with you. The first survey I got, I had to call up the owner, who used to be the president of the Point, and he gave me a better survey. The survey I had that's filed in the building department.
The Gore survey, yeah.
He gave it to me. So that's how I got this one. That was the next best one.
Mm-hmm.
Prior, what's in the building department is nothing. You laughed at it the first time you saw it. So, whether I need to get my own surveyor going back out there again, I don't know at this point.
I don't know.
What you need to, this is the minimum. You need to show the proper scale on the drawing. The only thing that's right is the 100-foot buffer from here to here. You know, it's within a couple of clicks, which is fine. Proper drawing demarcation. Come in here with a drawing saying, replacing walkway from here to here, taking up stone, you just show, remove
No, no,
started
I-
patio, topsoil mulch. You know, see how I was bubbling it in a different color?
Right.
You need to clearly identify the areas of work so that when our inspector goes out there to make sure that your silt fence is done, you're doing the work on areas of work that you're planning to do, he knows what you're doing.
Sure.
Because this was added from the last meeting. This was added from the last meeting. This walkway was added now,
The walkway was there in the last meeting.
but it's not marked.
It's not marked, but I talked about it as part of maintenance, but you said you wanted it as part of the wetland permit, which is fine.
Because everything from here over is the wetland permit.
Can I ask you another question?
Hold on 1 minute. But anything that you're, any work that you're doing from this line to here needs to be on this permit.
What's, I'm a little confused.
This is,
This exists.
this is existing.
This is, wait a minute, this you want is going to be improved, or what's there now?
Crappy patios.
Okay, so that's being replaced.
Yes.
With what?
What?
A deck.
The deck.
A deck?
Yeah.
Okay, is this being taken up
No, I don't have to. This alone in the calculation
for the rain garden?
is more than enough for the impervious surface with the calculations.
Okay, all right, I understand.
I mean, you got calculations here. I mean,
I've had multiple people look at it, and they thought they were
if
on
you
budget.
want to do, I mean, and this is just to throw it out there because I'm not expecting, if you want to change this area into a wetland, a rain garden to.
It's high. You know what happens? Just so you know, when you walk down this walkway here, it's like a 3-foot wall, here. It's just a higher section here.
Oh,
It's not gonna catch anything. It slopes
Down
up this.
here would be though.
Yeah, but with this rock wall down here, this is really the only area here that's grass. I think you shouldn't, why would you even want to go down by the water?
And this area here is what? What's the surface on that? Is that grass or something else?
Right where this wall is,
Yeah,
these are steps coming down, concrete steps coming down
Yeah.
here right now.
yeah.
This section in here is all, is all grass.
Grass, I thought so.
And then
Okay,
over
so it's
here, and then over,
Grass here and grass there.
yeah,
right?
on the other
Okay.
side of the boathouse, there's some shrubs and stuff.
Okay.
See, the other thing too is that we, for the most part, require a topo map too. So when you just said that was higher, that's the first time that I realized that that was higher, because we were talking about that possibly be an area that, that could be used as a rain garden, but if it's, and of capturing a leader drain from the rear, from this side of the house, if this is higher or something like
But
that.
I was told that the, by code, just removing the impervious surface is one way.
The other thing
remediate
is,
it.
you also want to remove some trees.
I marked them.
I mean, if
Where
this
are
is true down here, net loss of 34 feet of impervious surface, that's not much. I wouldn't,
No, no.
I wouldn't
24.
push for a rain garden if we.
Trees marked
Five
there,
by five
trees
is
marked
25
there,
feet. So 5 by
Trees
6,
to
6
be
is 36.
removed.
2 trees in the back.
There's a bush on this side.
There's a bush on the side.
Bush to be removed, okay.
And
It's a loss of 34 feet
All right.
of impervious area.
a question, 'cause I'm
That's
not
better,
positive
isn't
with
it?
this. If you have small bushes in the
I don't
wetlands,
care about them.
okay, I didn't know that. So the reality, there's only 2 trees I'm looking to cut in this whole property,
Fine.
which are right back here. There's 1 tree in the front here that's maybe 5, 6 inches, it's about 8 feet high. It's just ugly.
How many trees in total?
2 trees, 2 in the back.
2 trees and
All right, fine. That's all
and a
right.
shrubbery.
A shrubbery, get me a shrubbery.
Get me a shrubbery. All right, so get the scale map of the map correct, proper drawings for demarcation, detail areas of work, provide a detailed sequence of work, and show a north arrow.
Isn't this a north arrow right here?
Yeah, there's,
That? Oh, that's it.
Okay.
oh, there we are. Okay.
All right, we'll see you next time. Let's make it the last time.
You want to keep those, or so you have them in your file? or-
Yeah, we'll take them. Can I just have your highlighter, please, because if you're, I'll be right with you. All right, so he basically wants to do this. He wants to do this. This is what he really had to do.
I know.
Do that. Do we have to see, we don't
He
have
has
to
to
see
do the
footing
walkway
detail.
too.
The walkway,
It's just, yeah.
The boathouse,
boathouse,
Somebody else did that.
dock,
Actually,
the
the
dock,
next gentleman did that. The tree stuff.
the trees.
Yeah, that's all colored.
That's what this is what I would have spent the afternoon coloring. Spill kit location,
The buffer.
here's the buffer.
I'll tell you, the scale being, is like, this-
Best you up there, huh?
You like that on, huh?
Yeah, I want that.
I think we should also have a couple of rulers in the box. That would.
I want a ruler right here. on this thing. I've got a distance measure.
I got you a nice rule. It's even got a level on it for you.
I got a level.
This one has one built into it.
A little work on a table.
Okay, next is Wagner Millwork LLC, Corbelli, 169 Barrett Hill Road. You came in last time for a discussion. I don't have a file for you.
there's no file there?
I had a file last time.
This is not you.
I think,
This is not you.
no, it's there. You sure? That's
Oh,
it.
there it is.
This is you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, last
Okay,
one's
please
the
state
night
your
we had
names
the
and why you're here.
Claude Steele, Forester with Wagner Millwork.
Eric Leclerc, Forester, Wagner Millwork.
Okay. We sent David Klotzel out there as part of I even have a list for you. We sent David Klotzel out there to take a look at the wetlands, and we also sent a forester out there.
No, he didn't go.
He didn't go? So that's the
You
only,
didn't go?
I don't think so.
I didn't see any notes from him.
I didn't see any notes.
Was he, yeah, I guess he was asked to go.
Is that Doug Ramey?
Raymond,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So Dave wrote, I have completed a wetland inspection of the above referenced property. The wetland flagging is correct in the field, and the location on the map provided by Wagner Millwork is acceptable. I have some concerns regarding erosion on the slope leading to the site, on site wetland, and suggest that the silt fence shown on one of the site plans be extended all along the downslope border of the proposed tree harvest to protect the wetland.
I agree with that, yeah. Also, I have another
That's
suggestion.
what I showed on the new map.
No, you
You have to make it wider.
you gotta,
Got to come up and around.
Yeah, but this,
You can't go up the person's property, though.
this,
here's what I suggest. Maybe the board will go along with this. Instead of the silt fence being right at the edge of the wetlands, you're not gonna work in the buffer area, right?
we have
100
three
foot buffer.
trees in the buffer.
Three trees in the buffer.
Can you do those by hand?
Yeah, we won't have any equipment in the buffer.
Okay, well, what I
But we'll
was
get- pull
suggesting
them
is
out.
that you move
Yeah.
the silt fence.
100 feet in
100 feet from the
buffer
wetland.
line,
from the wetlands.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
50 feet.
and it's just
We can
three
do that.
trees out of
And
270.
two of the trees are right up near
Yeah.
the boundary. The other one is
Okay.
down here.
We were
So
out
if-
there
if you
today,
could- if you could-
looking at that,
if
and
you
that's
could-
probably not a
If you
problem.
could look, if you could move that silt fencing, okay, up close to, and preferably to the 100-foot buffer, all the way around, and it'd all be on your property, and you'd be protecting the other end of the wetland, okay? That will do a couple of things. I prefer to see the silt fencing up, away from the wetland, because in case, many times, if there's something that happens, silt fencing is breached, it goes into the wetland. This way, if it's breached, you still got 100 feet to go. Okay? It also gives a clear demarcation of where you're not supposed to go. Okay, so nobody, go, oh, I went into the buffer when I shouldn't go into it.
You said
And so
one
it protects it. So it protects it. So if you're in agreement, the board agrees, okay, I would suggest
Yeah,
maybe that
move the
silt fencing.
location of the
Silt
silt
fencing
fence.
right up there.
And the one tree that's,
Or the two.
how close to the buffer or the wetland? Is one
It's
tree you mentioned?
within the buffer,
Within the buffer.
and there's two trees that are right near the
Okay,
100-foot
if you,
border.
if. it
You're not
doesn't have to
taking
be
the stumps
exact-
out?
No,
Doesn't have to be
No.
exactly,
No.
doesn't have to be exactly 100 feet. Just keep the silt fence on the other side of those trees, but, try to maintain 100-foot buffer as best you can.
I asked David Klotzel when he was in there, I told him I had a concern about how the DEC had this wetland mapped on the neighbor's property.
Right.
And I don't think he made a note about that, but we went and looked at it today, and there's
That's a
only
neighbor's
a
property,
small-
right?
It's
Yeah.
the neighbor's property.
It's the
I mean,
neighbor's property.
right.
We told him to go out there and look at your
He
property.
only looked at that, but all there was a spring here, and it was, I paced it myself, it's over 120 feet, or 130 feet to the boundary
Yeah.
line, so it's actually further away than it shows on here.
And actually, we took a picture of it. I don't know if you guys want to look at it. This is, here is the, oh, sorry.
Hold it up.
Me and did it get bigger?
Yeah.
That red line is where I pinned,
The dots,
the red dots are where we pinned the buffer, where it's flagged in the field. And this other symbol over here on the other neighbor's property is where that spring originates. And it runs directly downhill, so this here actually is incorrect. It actually starts about here and just flows down, just so.
Okay, well, if you could put it 100 feet away, or even further if it's on your property. So you put the silt fence along that, so you don't want to go on the other guy's property anyhow, so.
No, you don't
So
do
just
that.
put the silt fence
So
on there,
it's still-
even if it's a little
okay.
further away,
Yeah.
just to protect it.
One question for you, as far as erosion coming down this hill, I guess I don't understand what the,
well, you're gonna be churning up, with your machines and stuff. We just don't want anything going into the wetlands.
right, I get that, yeah, okay. Now, we're gonna be using a forwarder in here?
Right.
I don't know if you probably know what that is. Well, it's actually.
It's
the
like a
trees aren't-
bobcat.
No, actually, the trees actually aren't dragged on the ground, they're actually carried out of the woods.
They're-
So
they're
there's less
Cut
scarification.
and drag that like this?
No, we actually cut by hand.
Oh, okay.
The trees are felled, limbed out, and then there's actually a loader on this machine. It actually picks the logs up, carries it out, so there's hardly
It's not
any
drained.
scarification on the ground.
Okay.
And there's a lot of rocks. We took pictures if you want to look at them. This is so bouldery down in here.
Right, yeah.
And the slope, probably in this wetland zone, we said probably 3%.
Yeah, and then
Coming
it-
up
then it
here is
comes up
probably
a little steeper.
225 feet of 12 to 15% slope. Very, very minimal. But, yeah, we can move that buffer, silt fence.
Okay, so move buffer,
Move silt fence
Move
to the
silt
buffer.
fence.
move silt fence. Can you move the buffer for us?
No, we don't want to move the buffer.
Also, the scale on the map I sent you, I didn't write it in on yours. The scale is 1 inch equals 136 feet.
Okay.
The problem you had with the last guy, I wanted to make sure you had the right scale.
Yeah, that wasn't on the plan this afternoon when I
Yep,
looked at it.
it needs it right there, 136 feet there.
Okay, these are the ones I looked at, yes.
136 feet.
Yes.
I have one other question for you.
Can they write on these?
They're yours.
You're gonna make some, you're gonna be carrying stuff in and out, and you've marked a road, okay, in here. Any plans for what are you gonna do after that? And there's gonna be some rutting or something that's gonna be done. I can't imagine that there's not going to be. There's gonna be-
Wherever there's rutting, it's gonna be smoothed off at the end, or if we have to leave the job for any kind of time, or if they hear there's a
Right, okay.
storm coming, something like that, then wherever there's gonna be any kind of erosion, there'll be water bars put in place, so there's not erosion.
What about
or
permanent,
erosion
after when you're all
going
done,
into-
what about permanent?
There'll be
Water
permanent
bars.
water bars, definitely.
We're regulated by the New York State DEC. And I don't know if you know anything about our company, if I could have a minute.
Have them.
Go ahead.
Okay. We're a very large sawmill, okay? It's not like you're dealing with some fly-by-night logger, which there's plenty of those out there. But there's plenty of good guys, too, that are loggers. We saw about 85 to 100 tractor-trailer loads a day. So we're very professional. We're all throughout New York State. We got 7 mills in New York State. We're in the Pennsylvania. We're just now starting to push east of the Hudson. Okay, our closest mill's in Davenport. So this is a little bit new ground for us. We're not used to these extensive permits. And probably these maps are probably the best you're gonna get from our industry. You know, you're not gonna get an engineered map, so I'm hoping you can bear with us and work with us. But the one thing about Wagner Millwork, or Bailey, we're a part of the Bailey Lumber Corporation. We're well-known, very reputable with New York State DEC. Doug Ramey knows us. I'm gonna be looking at Doug's sale on Tuesday. You know, he's got a sale out too, so
So you're gonna,
we know what we're doing.
going back to the original thing, you're going to be doing something to, you know, permanently on the site, okay? Would include perhaps doing some sort of vegetation, adding some vegetation or anything like that? Would you normally do something like that?
Like wetland seeds or,
No, they were far away from wetlands, it doesn't have to be wetland seeds, but just something to stabilize it, make sure it's
Actually,
stabilized.
if you put the water bars in there, what we're gonna, our contract expires on this in December. We had a short contract because he's trying to sell the land.
Right.
Okay? So we gotta get in there. My guy right now is sitting, down on Mr. Sandhu's property. That's East Fishkill. And we got probably 3 more weeks left, and we're hoping we can get him over here to do this. And when I initially spoke with Doug, he said probably a couple board meetings you'd be in and out. And and the forester that started this, Jordan, he's out for heart surgery now. He had a hole in his valve when he was born, but he spoke with Doug, but Doug never went out there with him. But I guess I'm a little disappointed Doug hasn't looked at this, so I hope it doesn't hold us up.
As far as we know, he has.
Okay.
I will check on that tomorrow. I will
And
send,
same thing with the staging area that you have over here.
Yeah,
how you guys, here's another little question for you. Did you gotta refuel this equipment, right?
Yep,
Where you gonna do that?
at the landing site.
You got a spill kit?
yeah,
Yeah, we'll have to have a spill kit.
You gotta show it on your drawing.
it's,
Oh, spill kit.
It says spill kit on there. It
Fueling-
says spill kit.
Usually it's a
Fueling
circle.
area.
Let me borrow that marker.
That's fine, they're gonna put it down over here.
I did have a question on the landing. Our standard practice in any town that we've been in, usually we have to stone the haul road going in because you don't want
Right.
dirt, mud,
Right.
accidents happening on the road, that's obvious. But Claude was telling me that you guys actually want us to build a stone pad, and I guess I don't understand why we need a stone,
Who said that?
Who said that?
didn't they say we
Gravel
needed
pad.
a gravel pad where the landing's gonna be? We're gonna gravel it where the trucks come in. But our interpretation was you wanted stone pad where we're gonna be bucking up the logs.
We're gonna leave it up, I don't know what the rest of it, we'll leave it up to Doug Ramey.
Okay, that's
okay?
fine. I mean,
Whatever,
Doug
he-
knows.
whatever, we're gonna go by what he says.
Fine.
If he says he wants it, then we want it.
Yep.
If he doesn't say, then
That's no
we're
problem.
not sure, I don't think.
This board doesn't indicate that, to
Okay.
my
I
knowledge.
don't remember him
I don't
saying.
remember saying that. I'll check my notes.
It could have been another special situation, different situation, because I
Okay.
know people have worked near wetlands and things like that.
I wrote it down on my notes, that's why it says
Right.
landing
But there
and
is-
gravel
it's still-
pad and.
Here's the things, listen, I'm gonna just go through this to be fair to you and to be me, because I gave you this list last time. Show the spill kit, you show it in the area, show landing area and provide details. You were gonna provide us details of the landing area.
What details you want?
You know, like, you were just saying how your trucks are gonna come in here loading on a gravel bed.
Yeah.
You know, something that it's just not a orange dot. You were gonna show a detail?
Usually that landing there, we're basically gonna excavate out just a little road. There's already one pretty much existing there. It ties into the trail system in through here, okay? So, just like it shows, it's coming off, that's gonna be stoned. And then we're gonna clear out a few trees in here, and all we're gonna be doing is stacking the logs, so when the truck backs up, it's gonna be a self-loading truck.
Right.
So he's gonna put his outriggers down, he's gonna pick up the logs, and he's gonna load it, and out he goes. So I don't know, as
You
far as
showed
detail, I'm not
you
sure
showed the
exactly what more we can
100-foot
do.
buffer. We were asking for, you have to provide a silt fence detail. You have to provide a fueling plan, ID map property. I mean, these are things I gave you last time.
Can we talk about those? Silt
We
fence,
could talk about them, but you usually, if you install a silt fence, you have to give us a detail of the silt fence.
Well, you guys gave me the detail for the silt fence.
Where is it?
You wanted it put in 6 inches
Right,
and
right.
Right.
full width.
But
Right.
That's what
It's
the
got-
map
it's gotta
It's gotta
shows.
be part of the application.
Part of the, it has to be part of the plans or the submission, okay? So that if whoever's gonna do, what you're gonna do during the work, that we know that it's part of it, and that they're aware of it.
well, if it's part of the permit, it's required though, right? I mean, it's gonna be 6 inches in the ground, is that correct?
Well, a lot of people do different things, that's why we
Yeah.
normally require a schematic of what the silt fence is gonna be. We always require, as a matter of fact. It's right on here. This
You have to provide this type of
This is
detail.
much smaller request than you realize, and that has to be part of the plans.
Really?
It doesn't have to be on the sheet, it can be just a
Well,
separate
Give me
piece.
It could be a
separate-
separate sheet,
Honestly, that's, if you do a Google search, that comes right up
Shows
too.
right
Yeah,
up.
just comes right up.
separate sheet would be fine.
As far as a fueling plan though, that's there, right?
The what?
The
Fueling.
fueling plan, you show the fueling area. It's, fueling plan is typically, trucks will be brought, the equipment will be brought to the edge of the road, fueling truck will come in,
Well,
spill kit will be on site. It's usually typically a narrative.
So the fueling equipment, they have their own fueling tank with them on their service truck.
Okay, is that service truck gonna be leaving every day?
Yeah?
So, I mean, just, we'll talk about it. Silt fence, you have the ID map property. You gave us the sale deed. So there is the deed,
And I think the idea is already on here, it's already on here.
yeah.
It's on here. So
Provide mitigation plan and a scaled map. And you gave us a scaled map.
we need a narrative of what you're gonna do with the areas you're gonna disturb. Whether you're gonna put water bars in, like you said, just a narrative, would be fine.
What we can do is if everybody's acceptable to this, we can accept the application as is. And then
Subject.
subject to
Well, can you just go through the list, what's still needed?
Yeah, narrative on,
inventory,
select,
On mitigation for disturbed areas,
narrative on one,
I don't know, you may want to give us a little bit more detail on the entrance area, where you're going to be staging in there, where you're going to be working, what's going to happen in that area too.
All right,
You gave us an inventory?
Of what, the trees?
Trees.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
trees
that
are
was
there.
I
got all the
just,
trees.
I
They-
sent a
they-
new
Yeah,
inventory
that's fine.
sheet.
All right, let me just,
For the staging area, if you wanna put, it would
Yep.
probably be good if you provided something like it's going to be a certain by certain size. We're planning on putting a certain level, thickness of gravel or whatever it is, just to give us more detail, so. The idea behind this, the idea behind the whole board is, and you submitting this application, if somebody who hasn't sat in on this meeting looks at this
Right.
and looks at what you're doing.
they have to be able to,
They have to be able to understand this. This is the contract that you're saying, this is what we're doing with, this is what we're going to do, this is all we're going to do. This is our contract to the town, to the public, that we're not gonna do anything additional to this, or anything that hasn't been reviewed by the board and approved.
This has to be, a public notice of this has to be put in the paper too.
Right.
Which says to people, you can come in and take a look at it. And going along with what Nick said, we want to make sure that they come in, they understand what's happening. Okay.
we're not only
We
doing this
also,
for your benefit, we're doing it,
I got a timber job now. It's in behind a bunch of residents in town of Vestal. And we got our buffers. I got one of our best guys in there with a Ford, or George Austin. And first day we're in there, 5 different people are standing down there with their hands on their hips. So Lincoln Ellis calls me and says, Eric, he's like, I got some phone calls. He says, are you doing everything you said you're gonna do? I said, Lincoln, I said, do we always do what we say we're gonna do? He said, yeah. He says, well, I needed a call before I returned the calls. I said, how many calls did you get? He said, 5. But they're- put it frankly, they're pissed, but it's their back. But you know what? It's a nice buffer in there. We did everything. It's a great job. And the ironic, if you got a minute, I won't tell too many stories.
that's okay.
I actually was gonna pull Lincoln out there because it would have been nicer, much more convenient, and the existing roads flowed out to a gravel pit that had a road going down, probably a half-hour dozer. I could fix it up out through this development. But the board wanted me to take it uphill because it'd be less disturbance. So I went home to my 10-year-old son at the time. I said, Alex, I gotta ask you a question. I ran through the scenario. I said, if I'm pulling 4 trees up the hill at a time, dragging the trees, or I'm going across a contour, side hill, out a flat road, I said, what's gonna cause more erosion? He said, well, going uphill. And the board didn't see it. And I'm like, you guys are nuts.
Well, you should put him on the board then.
Put 'em on the board. We have an extra seat tonight,
3 extra seats.
Yeah.
All right, so,
so,
go ahead.
so this is what you're missing based on last meeting, okay? Because you're making progress. We need to set up a meeting with Ramey. So Rose will set up a meeting with Mr. Ramey. He'll go out, he'll meet you, just show him what you're doing, just so he gets the warm fuzzy. You need to give us a fueling plan, how, if you're bringing a truck in there with a tank and a pump and all that other stuff, you gotta let us know. And on that statement, truck will not stay overnight,
Yep, no problem.
because you're within the buffer, and if, you know what I'm saying, if everything's running this way,
Well,
well,
yeah,
it's,
there's no way it's gonna run
yeah,
that.
I know, but, silt fence detail, and provide mitigation plan, just a narrative of what you're planning to do for
For
mitigation.
cleanup, okay.
Right. The drawings, it's a tree map. I mean, I can't make you put every tree that you're cutting down on this map, but we have the general area that you're working in.
Yep.
I mean, you're close. It's just a question of dotting the i's and crossing the t's.
How many trees are going to be left on the site?
We actually took a couple random samples today. And one that was in the buffer, and one, we just said, we're gonna go up 3 chains, and we're gonna do a 10th-acre plot. And we counted. Actually, you got the count. We measured
Well,
tallied everything 1 inches and up. And I think there's
sample, yeah.
13,277 trees, and we're taking 277.
Okay,
Oh, that's not.
that's good.
Yeah, so it's 1.7%.
Just one.
Does the map need to be changed at all? Does this map need to be
No,
changed?
No.
Did you say anything about, we wanted more detail on the
Yeah, want
station?
more detail on the.
I don't know if it needs to be on the map, they can provide that
No, no,
separately
they
in a
could put it
narrative, right?
separate, that's fine, yeah.
Doesn't even need to be,
Just give us detail on the landing area.
Okay.
could be separate sheets.
Right.
You're close, guys.
So my point is, I mean, I'd be perfectly willing to accept this conditionally but as long as this map isn't gonna change, and that's, so we
map's
talked
not
about.
changing,
We
right?
talked about the moving the silt fence, does that need to be shown on this map, differently than it is right now?
Hey, what he can do now is, I'll tell him to take these drawings, go get a marker. He can mark
I'm
it
fine
up,
with that.
and
Well, he still has to submit the other
he
stuff.
still has to submit the other
Of
stuff.
course, yeah.
And also, you're
Let
gonna
him
be
do that.
talking to Ramey anyway, so
Right.
that'll be a help.
Right.
So, what we'll do is, because we know you're on a time constraint, what we'll do is we will, I have no problem accepting the application with the following conditions. One, that the map be updated, showing the silt fence location.
Can we do that tonight, so we don't have to send back a map? Because we won't have to come back again, right? If
You'll
we-
have to come back to get your permit.
Right.
No,
But
we
during the
have to
week.
hold a hearing,
We have to hold a hearing,
yeah. We have to hold a hearing.
Oh, so we're gonna be another month out.
probably.
We have to hold a hearing?
Well, you
for
wanna
trees?
modify the map tonight, is
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
acceptable?
modify the map tonight.
If we could modify that and just get this other stuff to you,
Yeah.
Well, you could send a modified map to us, too, if you're gonna send that other stuff.
It's
Stick it
gotta-
all in the same map.
Yeah,
What's the notice timeframe on a hearing? How, do you have to give 30
It
days?
has to be advertised at least 5 days before the hearing, and we have to do it within 45 days,
So we could do the hearing next
2 meetings,
2 meetings.
2 meetings from now.
which will bring you to the middle of November.
We could do.
And then right after we open
We
the
could
meeting,
do
we
it the
close
first,
the meeting.
wait, we could do it the first, we could do it the first meeting in November. It's 2 weeks.
Right, this is what I'm saying, we don't
2
have to
weeks.
wait the 30 days.
We don't have to wait 30, it has to be done within 45 days, but the notice has to be in, you have to give the public at least a 5-day notice, period.
Right.
Okay, in order to that.
the
Then,
quicker we get it.
after that, we have to issue a permit within 45 days.
Right.
So if we could do it in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, if, that,
Within a month, you should have a permit.
okay, but that would be contingent upon you getting all that information
You'll have this
to
next
Rose by Monday, so that we can tell her to advertise
Right, we're constrained on,
on the
our
time.
papers go out
The-
Tuesday.
The advertisement's got to be Monday or Tuesday,
you'll have it Monday.
okay? And
All right,
all that
so-
information.
I'm gonna make the motion to accept the application as is with the following conditions. One, he's gonna update the map showing the new location of the silt fence. 2, we're gonna set up a meeting with, Mr. Ramey. Meeting.
And that'll be on you, right?
We'll have we'll have Rose contact you folks. Fueling plan. Silt fence detail. And a mitigation plan.
That would be more or less on the skid roads where the most.
Right,
disturbance
what are you
is.
going to do, right?
Yep.
And then a detail of the landing area. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, you have to get us this material by Monday.
Now, can we do the map, because there's no way you're gonna be able to scan a new map, and if we leave this with you, then we can get everything else to you via
Yeah,
email.
if you want to go,
Yeah,
do we have to keep the meeting open for the,
Yeah, so we could take it, yeah.
Well,
There you
wait,
go.
we don't have to take it, he can technically submit that any time, and we just throw it in the file.
that's true.
That's true, okay.
He could do it in the next
Yeah.
10 minutes, he can do it after we close, that doesn't matter.
Okay, so there's a table over there if
Okay,
you want to.
could we also, I think we need a motion to have a hearing, okay?
Yeah,
Need a motion to have a hearing. Schedule,
All right, so then I'm going to put out there for a motion that pending the complete submittal of the items due for Monday, that a hearing be set for this application by the next ECB meeting,
Which would be November 5.
which is November the 5th, 2015. Do I have a motion?
We'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Now, there's one other situation here. Rose is not here tomorrow, okay?
She's here Monday.
Okay. I think we want to get our forester out there ASAP,
Oh, yeah.
okay? So if anything can be done to get, to
I will
have him.
call him tomorrow too.
You call Ramey?
I got his number.
Okay.
Okay, now,
But I don't want that on me, but hopefully somebody, I will call him too, say, hey, you gotta get out here.
okay,
Well, I'll
You
call,
want to call Doug as well?
I don't have Doug's number, I'll call
Here,
Rich.
I got it for you. Should have.
I don't want to, I'll
Rich,
read it,
yeah.
I'll read it. I don't want you to yell it out.
And then he's gonna let us know what the escrow
And
amount's gonna
then
be.
he'll set an escrow for you, and then he will, and that'll be the next,
if you meet him out there, which I assume you probably will do, I don't know, but just remind him, make sure that he has set the escrow, because you fellows are in a hurry here, okay? So let's not wait,
Yeah.
oh gee, we forgot the escrow at some point in
Yeah.
time, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate you working with us to get this done quickly.
I'm gonna have to just also check with, Town Hall, see if I can send him out there. I think I can, I can just,
Sure you
I can
can.
call him direct, and then I'll just tell Rose that I sent him out there, because I think he bills about the hour or something like that.
What's the road that this is on? What road?
Barrett Hill.
Barrett Hill?
That's not a state road or anything like that, is it?
No. Well, you want to look at it?
No, I don't want,
I'll show you the
I'm just worried that they might, if they're gonna create an entrance onto a road, even a temporary one, they may run into problems.
That's not our purview.
I know, but that's their, I'm trying to help them
That's
out.
their problem.
Is the road out of the buffer? Yes, okay.
All right, so get me the stuff for Monday, and then, remember, if we don't get it Monday,
You'll get it Monday.
I'm telling you, if you don't get it Monday, everything gets pushed back. Got it?
I totally understand, I appreciate that.
Good.
You'll have
Okay.
it Monday. As
All right,
long as
so
we
you
don't
could-
die between here and there, we'll have it Monday.
If you want, I think there's some crayons over on the table, you can start marking up your map.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't want your job.
You can have it.
Actually, we got one logger, it's sitting on the board in the town of Owego.
Oh, yeah?
And Craig Yoakum, great guy, he sits on several boards, actually. But like Craig, I'm like, why do you do it? But you know what? Somebody doesn't do it.
There's nobody here to do it.
You know, I truly do get what you guys, it's no different than when we do our paperwork, somebody goes on vacation. You tell them, you know what? Somebody blind has to come and grab that file. They need to know everything about that sale,
That's right.
no different.
Good.
Good engineering practice.
Reasonable.
Okay, there's no new business,
No minutes.
there's no minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
One thing, and that was, we talked a long time ago about trying to have a meeting to try to do something about, setting up a little more detail of what is required to be submitted and putting on.
Did somebody you printed out a chart, right? You sent a work session.
Working session.
You made a,
I made a lot of things,
so
but
what
yeah,
we'll
I
do
brought
is,
in a checklist.
if it's okay with you, Vince, next year, as part of for next year, for 2016, we'll make a goal of getting that done. Why are you
To be
laughing?
fair, we do have a
Okay,
lot
Bob.
of holidays between now and.
There's a lot of
How many
holidays.
more
Don't
board
put it on
meetings? Does anyone have any idea how many meetings we have? We have,
Okay,
I think
All
we
right.
have 4 before the end of the year. Is that right?
Something like that.
yep. November and
Come in
November and
Thanksgiving
December.
if you'd like.
We should make it a plan to say. I mean, even this year to say, if we're going to do it next year, that's fine. Let's pick one of the meetings and
one of the
say,
meetings.
let's advertise this out. Let's make sure the whole board is there. Give them enough time, and we can do an actual work session where we talk about this kind of thing. I think that's definitely something worthwhile.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's always.
we have 3 meetings.
All right, so I have a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
I have a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night. It is now 8:30 on the town clock. Good night.